Great. Welcome, everyone. A warm welcome to all of you on this another open discussion. And today's topic of open discussion is pitfalls on the healing journey. What are the things? Where do we miss the point? Where we go off track? Why does that happen? How can we course correct it? What are the things that we can bring into our awareness? What are the mistakes sometimes that we make on this journey which actually delay and stretch this process of healing ourselves for too long? So we are going to look into some of these important pointers. So I wouldn't say exactly that they are mistakes, and then we get into the space of feeling guilty about it. It's not exactly that kind of a mistake. It's just something that a lot of us do unconsciously, unintentionally, something we tend to do because we are not aware of where it is going wrong. So we keep trying different things, we keep exploring different things, and sometimes people continue to jump from one place to another and look for the answers. The thing is that they have a very good intention. They want to heal themselves, want to find the answers, want to do all of these things. And yet we, sometimes go off track. So we will try to bring more awareness to some of these important pointers today. And this is, as we call it, an open discussion. It's not going to be a one-way delivery thing where where we only share things with you all. It is going to be more conversational. It is going to be two-way communication. So we want all of you to participate. All of you are invited to speak up, to share your experiences, to share your stories, to ask your questions. So chime in. You can just simply raise your hand and we'll call your name. So that's how we'll take the session forward. So now coming to today's topic of what are these pitfalls on the healing journey. So I'm pretty sure that most of you here, or maybe all of you here, as you resonated with this topic, I'm sure you are on this journey at some or the other, in some or the other way, in some or the other form. You know that this is important for you, right? So let's do one thing, that let's hear from you guys first. Let's see what exactly have you seen on your healing journey. How have you course corrected it? You can share about yourself and your journey, and we will see how the conversation goes forward from there. So any of you, any mistake or pitfall that you see, that you have observed, you found yourself doing, you corrected it, you came back on track, what are those things? So any of you who would like to share, you can simply raise your hand. Yes, Sajal, go ahead.
Hi, hi. Thank you for conducting this session. So, the problem that I faced during my healing journey and that I'm currently facing also is when you are so open for social media and everything is right handy to you. So you start comparing yourselves with others, and like I particularly when I'm off social media or when I'm active in my life in respect to workout or I'm doing my work diligently and everything, then it's still better. But once I become active on Instagram or I start talking or surfing internet or something, then the situation gets come back to zero. So then I again have to start it again. So I feel that I'm the proper not like I'm facing problem and I'm not able to deal with my life, and or I'm alone and everything. Like,
Hmm. Hmm. So you're saying, Sajal, that you continue to be on your healing journey and you continue to do all of these things to heal yourself. But then the moment, you come in contact with, people on social media, or, there's so much available these days, right? And
yeah,
everybody posting about themselves, and it kind of gets overwhelming.
it does a lot of times, and also you cannot go totally off of social media, because then when you talk to people, then they all talk about is just social media, what happened here, what happened there, and then your daily life revolves around scrolling Instagram. Somehow or the other, you come back to Instagram and you start exploring things. So then the healing part becomes negative again.
Hmm. Hmm. Right, right. And while you have observed and become aware of these things, did you also jot down for yourself what are the things which actually trigger you and then work on those particular things?
First of all, the negativity, like I start feeling that if I come across any news or something like that, and I feel that so much of negative or rape or crime or any sort of thing is happening, like, how can my life be so perfect? And then I start thinking negatively. Or when I see other people like going places, or when even scroll LinkedIn or something, then I feel I'm not able to handle my personal life. I'm not able to handle my professional life. How will I deal with any of such things? How these people are handling the daily routine so well and smiling and everything. Why I am not able to do that? I think that is it.
Hmm. Hmm. Right. So what have you tried actually to fix this issue? Have you gotten deeper and explored why this triggers you so much?
I'm trying to do meditation. I'm trying to do yoga, do my workout, or I'm doing affirmations daily, listening to podcasts, listening to 𝗕𝗵𝗿𝗵 and 𝗕𝗵𝗁 Shivani, sister 𝗕𝗵𝗁 Shivani, and everything. I'm doing everything that is there that I can do, or I'm trying to sleep early, but I'm not able to because the morning seems so difficult. I don't feel like waking up only. So yeah, these are the things that I'm trying.
Hmm. Hmm. Right. Hmm. Right. So we usually talk about these things, pretty much in a lot of our sessions where, we feel that, I have to do it on my own. I have to figure it out on my own. Right. So this is one of the major pitfalls that, most of the people face when they are on a healing journey, that when it comes to a physical injury and when it comes to we getting cuts and bruises on our body, we directly run to a doctor. But when it comes to emotional well-being, when it comes to mental well-being, when we are having all of these cuts and bruises at a way deeper level, maybe they are not visible at the surface level, but at that point of time we continue to explore different things and different whatever comes in front of us, right? Rather than at times it could be pretty simple that we could find somebody and we could just simply ask for help, ask for direction, right? But we take it very personally at times. So it's not just about Sajal. It's just one thing that she shared. Maybe what I'm saying is not completely applicable on her as well. But this just reminded me of the major, pitfall which a lot of us go through. That we exploring things and everything, like for an example, Sajal talked about. None of those things are an issue. None of those things are a problem. All of those things, doing and exploring and all of it is fine. But then we don't know where to stop. We don't know in which direction are we going. We don't know how, even if what I'm doing is helping me, not helping me, it's actually solving the real problem, or it's just giving me a feel good temporarily. We don't ask ourselves these questions, and we start taking these things personally when it comes to healing ourselves emotionally and mentally. We have seen so many people who come and say that but this is self work, this is something which I have to figure out on my own, right? This is something which I have to do. So the thing is that a lot of us focus on finding thousand wrong ways of doing thing, and then landing upon one, rather than, just simply going and asking somebody who has already been there, who has already reached there, and just telling them that, tell me the direction, and I just want to see where I can succeed in this, where I can actually reach where I want to reach. Right. So thank you, Sajal, for sharing this with us. This just reminded me of one of the pitfalls, one of the things which we, do in this, in when it comes to self healing space. It's not actually anybody's fault per se, but when it comes to self healing space, if you listen to us also, we also say the same thing, that it's you who can take you out of the problem, right? Because the thing is that no matter how many people you speak to, anybody outside, anybody who's your guide, who's your coach, who's your therapist, who's your counselor, whomsoever, any guru, any teacher, they can show you the path. You have to walk on the path. Nobody else can do that for you. But then a lot of us interpret it in this way, that I have to find the path also. I have to figure it all out by myself. And then only I will feel that I am, I have successfully healed myself. But the thing is that when it comes to you having a stomach ache, you don't go read, all the books that is available in biology, and you don't become a doctor. You just simply go and ask the doctor that, find out, what is the real issue, help me with that. Of course you have to take the medicine. Nobody else can take the medicine for you. But we misunderstand this concept completely. So for an example, I was watching, the serial, it's called Buddha, right? The name of the serial itself is Buddha, and it is a biopic of Gautama the Buddha. And he says so many times in that series, right, that only you can come, you can take yourself out of the issue. But Buddha himself had a sangha, right? He himself had thousands and lakhs of people who were following him on his path, because where he had reached, we have not reached there. So why not we just simply go and ask for help, right? And then exploration is not a problem, meditations are not a problem, trying things out is not a problem. But our focus, completely goes away from this place that, we need to heal ourselves, and our focus gets more into, I need to figure out how to heal myself. But the question that we really really need to ask ourselves, rather than falling on this, big pothole, is that, do I really need to figure out the way to heal myself, or my focus is to heal myself, or my focus is to come out of this thing, come out of this repeating pattern in my life, right? So यहाँ पे फोकस करने की जगह हम सारी एनर्जी इसमें डालने लगते हैं कि ये भी ट्राई कर लेते हैं, ये भी कर लेते हैं, ये भी कर लेते हैं, शायद इससे कुछ हो जाएगा, right? So this is one of the important things that we miss. Akarma, you explained this really well. Anything you would like to add on this point?
Yeah. Am I audible?
Very,
Can you
very
hear me?
well.
Okay. Yes. So the reason I said yes to this topic is because I was expecting this question to come up, because this question is something which we have answered so many times, and it is such a common problem that is there. So although it is like one of the pitfalls, but it's actually the biggest one that people fall in trap, as Sanamika was talking. So I want to just revisit that, and I want to ask this thing. If you can imagine along as I am talking, I'm going to use an example to explain this, and just imagine what I'm saying as I'm talking. But let's say that you are walking on the road, and then a car comes and hits you, and now your bones are broken, your leg is broken, you're bleeding, you have all sorts of injuries and everything, and you're away, right? So maybe not everyone here has an experience of an accident, and it's not important that you need to have an experience of this to understand this. You may have seen it, otherwise some common sense is also there. So It doesn't matter whether you relate to this example or not. There's something can be just, you can just use the common sense to connect with the example also. So at this time, if somebody comes to you and tells you that I know a very good meditation, and you can do that and you'll feel better, or I know very good journaling technique, or I know very good affirmations, would you do that at this time? And I'm sure that answer would be no. Why? Because you know that you are bleeding, your bones are broken, and you need to go to the doctor and fix that first. You can't be concentrating on meditation and affirmations while you are bleeding and your bone is broken and all sorts of pains and everything is there. You will not be able to sit in meditation and do that. ये हमें पता है. This is just plain and simple common sense. Even if somebody will come, first of all, nobody will come and give you this kind of advice. In this case, nobody will come and give you this advice. और अगर कोई आके देगा भी, तो you are just going to ignore it and you're just going to think like, what the fuck kind of advice is that? तो हम उसके ऊपर बिल्कुल हम उसको ध्यान भी नहीं देंगे. ऐसे कोई बात करेगा ही नहीं. पहली बात तो करेगा तो हम उसको इग्नोर करेंगे. Pure and simple common sense. And yet, when we are going through life, we are facing all these emotional injuries, mental injuries, and there are problems happening to us. We are bruised internally, wounded internally, and all that. उनको ध्यान हमारा उस पर ध्यान है ही नहीं. हम जाके सीधा मेडिटेशन करने लगते हैं, एफर्मेशंस लिखने लगते हैं. And then when it's not getting sorted, then also we are not questioning the method. We are probably questioning कि शायद मैं मेडिटेशन ठीक से नहीं कर पा रहा, शायद मेरे को कोई और टाइप की एफर्मेशन करनी, शायद मेरे को किसी और तरीके से जर्नलिंग करनी है. तो टांग टूटी हुई है, आप बैठ के जर्नलिंग करोगे तो उससे टांग जोड़ने वाली तो नहीं है ना. तो that is the equivalent example of this thing. Mental emotional injuries are no different than physical injuries, and they require exactly the same amount of attention and same approach to heal first before we look into these techniques of meditations or listening to affirmative या कुछ ऐसा सत्संग की कुछ बातें चल रही हैं, कोई हमें बता रहा है and all that. ये सब बात की बातें. This is all later kind of things. So we completely do it backwards when we are facing these problems, and because we are not uh, we are taking a completely wrong approach and we are not even questioning that approach. That is why these things just keep uh, escalating. They never stop. हम रुक के सोचते भी नहीं हैं थोड़ी देर के लिए कि हम क्या कर रहे, क्यों कर रहे हैं ऐसे. तो this is an important um, point to stop and to reflect upon कि ऐसे हम क्यों कर रहे हैं. As you are saying, so today there is no dearth of information available. So point is not कि हमें कोई मिलेगा नहीं जो हमें गाइड कर सकता है, या you can't find some good professionals who can help you and all that. Point तो ये है ही नहीं, ये तो क्वेश्चन ही नहीं है. पॉइंट ये है कि हम सोचते ही नहीं है उस बारे में. हमारा ध्यान ही नहीं जाता कि हमें ये करना है. जबकि अगर फिजिकल इंजरी कोई होती है तो सबसे पहली चीज हम यही देखते हैं कि किस हॉस्पिटल में जाएंगे, किस डॉक्टर से बात करेंगे. वो हमारा पूरा ध्यान उस चीज पे है. लेकिन मेंटल इमोशनल इंजरीज वेलबींग की जब बात आती है तो आवर फोकस इज नॉट इवन देयर टू सी कि can I seek help from the right kind of person who can help me to address this first, and later when you have come out of these things, meditations, affirmations, subliminals, journaling, all these techniques are not going to help you in fixing the problem in initial days. ये इसको ऐसा समझ के चलो कि this is like this is the medicine to boost your mental and emotional immune system. तो आप जब आप बीमार हो जाते हो, अम, आपको कोई प्रॉब्लम हो गई है, तो you first take medicine to come out of that problem. Once you come out of that problem, then you start looking at how I can change my lifestyle, how I can change my outlook, how I can eat better, how I can do exercise better, how I can improve my physical immune system so I don't fall in the same trap again. लेकिन जब बीमार हो गए, उस टाइम पे थोड़ी इम्यून सिस्टम के ऊपर हम इतना फोकस करते हैं. उस टाइम पे तो वी फोकस ऑन टेकिंग द मेडिसिन टू कम आउट ऑफ दिस. तो गड्ढे में गिर चुके हैं. तो that we know, that's a common sense thing that we already know. Immune system पे काम होता है when you are well. You don't work on your immune system when you are unwell. When you are unwell, at that time you fix it first. Only when you get well, then you work on your immune system so that you don't become unwell again very quickly. So these techniques that you are talking about are related to your emotional and mental immune system. They will help you to be in a good vibrational state, but not if you're already unwell. तो कर ही नहीं पाओगे. You are saying the same thing which is reconfirming this कि सुबह उठा ही नहीं जाता है, मोटिवेशन ही नहीं है, ये करना ही नहीं है, क्योंकि बीमारी कुछ और है. पहले उस बीमारी का इलाज करना है, पहले उस स्टेट में आना है. मेडिटेशन एंड ऑल दीज थिंग्स विल नॉट ब्रिंग यू आउट ऑफ दैट स्टेट. दे विल कीप यू अवे फ्रॉम दैट स्टेट. So first you pull yourself out, then you do these things. So you stay away from it. You build your emotional and mental immune system that way. You don't fall in trap of it quickly. So I'll just pause here to see, Sajal, is this making sense? Is there any other way you want me to explain this?
No, I got it. But when, how do you decide that this is the injury and this is not the, right now you have to treat your injury and right now you have to treat your immune system? Like, what is the, how do you define this? How do you come to this conclusion that this is the time to seek mental support and go to therapist? Though I have gone to therapist and I couldn't find any, so that also gave me a kind of fallback to these solutions. But then you don't m- I'm not able to make a difference right now that this is the time to go to therapist and this is the time to work on my emotional me getting on my emotional self better on my own.
Yeah. So what is it that we call the injuries in this um, is when you feel, let's say, um, people around you make you feel that you are being taken for granted. Every time somebody talks, you feel triggered, you feel intimidated, you feel dominated, um, you feel embarrassed, or somebody is always trying to make you feel down and all that in the way they approach, they talk to you. ये सारी चीजें इंजरीज हैं.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are continuously subjecting yourself in this, and I'm not saying कि subjecting yourself का मतलब ये नहीं कि अलग हो जाओ, क्योंकि solution is not always, you cannot just live by yourself. We have to live with people, we have to have relationships. um, so वो तो part and parcel of life है. तो point वो नहीं है. It is same parallel that वायरसेस तो आपकी बॉडी पे हर समय अटैक करते रहते हैं. तो राइट नाउ ऑल्सो एज वी आर टॉकिंग, viruses are attacking your body, but it's your immune system which is stronger, which wins, and you're not falling sick. So you fall sick the moment your immune system goes down. Viruses to continuously attack कर रहे हैं. So these people around you who are making you feel this way, triggering you, all that, वो तो continuously attack करते रहेंगे. उनका तो कुछ इलाज नहीं है. हम वायरसेस का इलाज नहीं करते, हम खुद का इलाज करते हैं. तो it is about that कि first scene कि why you feel down, why you get triggered, what is it that makes you feel this way, what is it that makes you feel कि you have to be in an anxious mode all the time. What is it that making you anxious or avoidant, or um, you feel that you have to get your way, only get your way by doing some people pleasing with others. सबकी बात अपने खुद का yes और no की कोई वैल्यू ही नहीं है. जहाँ पे no बोलना है वहाँ yes बोल रहे हैं, जहाँ yes बोलना है वहाँ no बोल रहे हैं. So it's, everything is about pleasing the other person and all that. But then every time we do it, we don't feel good. These are all injuries. Overthinking, over consideration, over sensitivity, over emotional, anything where we attach the word over, it's a toxic behavior. It is no different than the same thing. Just say eating is good. We need to eat. Without eating, we can't survive. So we need to eat. Eating is fine. Overeating is toxic. Same way, thinking is fine. We need to think. We need to survive. We need to think. But overthinking is toxic. Being considerate towards others is good. Being over considerate, जहाँ पे हम अपना कुछ अपनी वैल्यूज, अपने नॉन नेगोशिएबल्स को मार के दूसरे के बारे में ही सोच के हम एक्ट कर रहे हैं और वो हमको प्रॉब्लम कर रहा है, that is what we are facing. It's toxic. All these things are injuries. ये मेडिटेशन से जाने वाली बातें नहीं है.
Yeah, makes sense. But the kind of trouble that I face when I go to therapy is like I face issues in my everyday, day-to-day life. So sometimes I feel I need assistance in in 1 hour also I need assistance. Like I'm not able to figure out that the trauma has become so big that when I go to therapist and it's weekly session or something, it won't make sense because that 1 hour I'm not able to speak out on things that is actually troubling me. Rather, I need someone who is there that I can approach or something in a like this moment I'm feeling anxiety or depression or I'm having panic attack or this is the thing that I'm facing or I'm not able to say yes or no or something like that. That moment I need assistance, then therapist can't help you every time, right? I'm not able, I
थेरेपिस्ट
don't
का
know
वो
whether
रोल,
I am able to explain you or not
no,
because
no, you explained it to me, but I understood. So just what I'm going to say, it may sound like as if I didn't understand, but I just want to make it clear कि I understood what you're saying. पर अब जो मैं बोलने वाला हूँ उसको थोड़ा ध्यान से सुनना, क्योंकि वो अलग है. Your expectation is wrong. I understood what you're saying, but your
yeah,
expectation is wrong. So
yeah.
your expectation from your therapist is
Hmm.
not कि जब मुझे हो तो मेरे साथ कोई, आपके साथ कोई 24/7 नहीं रह सकता है. ट्वेंटी फोर
Hmm.
सेवन तो आपको खुद के साथ रहना है.
हाँ,
सो
हाँ.
थेरेपिस्ट है, काउंसलर है, कोच है, कोई भी है जिसके पास भी आप जा रहे हो, साइकोलॉजिस्ट, साइकाइट्रिस्ट, वॉट एवर पर्सन यू आर गोइंग टू, their job is to help you come out of this. It's their job is not to help you to come out of the incidents. इंसिडेंट्स तो आपकी लाइफ में होते ही रहेंगे, लोग तो आते ही रहेंगे. हम इंसिडेंट्स के ऊपर फोकस नहीं करते, हम बिहेवियरल पैटर्न्स के ऊपर फोकस करते हैं. तो आप जिन बिहेवियरल पैटर्न्स में फंसे हो उससे बाहर निकालना है. इंसिडेंट्स तो जब तक पैटर्न में फंसे रहोगे, नए नए इंसिडेंट्स तो होते ही रहेंगे.
Got it.
तो इफ यू आर गोइंग टू अ थेरेपिस्ट एंड यू आर फीलिंग लाइक कि मुझे आज मेरे साथ ये हुआ, मेरे को ये बात करनी है, मेरे को ये बताना है एंड ऑल दैट, अगर आप 1 घंटा उसी में ही पूरा डाल रहे हो तो बात तो कुछ आगे हो ही नहीं रही है. लेट्स से फॉर एग्जांपल यू कम टू मी एंड यू टॉक टू मी एंड आई फाइंड आउट कि मुझे आपका पैटर्न समझ में आ गया कि आप कहाँ फंसे हो. ठीक है, अब आपका पैटर्न समझ में आ गया तो हम पैटर्न के ऊपर इलाज करेंगे ना. अब आप हर सेशन में आके अगर मुझको इंसिडेंट्स के बारे में ही बताते रहोगे तो उससे हम कहाँ बढ़ेंगे आगे.
समझा, राइट,
वो
राइट.
तो टाइम ही चला गया फिर, क्योंकि इंसिडेंट्स तो आपकी लाइफ में होते ही रहेंगे जब तक आप वो पैटर्न को फिक्स नहीं करोगी. अगर आपका पैटर्न है पीपल प्लीजिंग का और आपने मुझे 1-2 इंसिडेंट बता दिए और 1-2 इंसिडेंट से मुझे समझ में आ गया कि हाँ पीपल प्लीजिंग का इशू है यहाँ पे, इसको एड्रेस करना है, तो अब उस पे काम करेंगे ना. अभी बार बार इंसिडेंट्स को डिस्कस करके क्या होने वाला है? पास्ट के इंसिडेंट्स तो जो है वो हो गए, पास्ट के इंसिडेंट्स का तो हम कुछ कर नहीं सकते, पास्ट के इंसिडेंट्स को हम एक्सप्लोर करके पैटर्न्स आइडेंटिफाई कर सकते हैं। हमारा फोकस रहता है कि ये पैटर्न्स को एड्रेस करें ताकि फ्यूचर में ये इंसिडेंट्स रिपीट ना, फ्यूचर में हमारा रिस्पॉन्स डिफरेंट हो।
Okay. So can you actually change your behavioral pattern, like people pleasing, not able to say yes or no, getting emotional, getting attached? Is it actually possible to change all of this behavior by therapy or something?
हाँ बिल्कुल।
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the whole point now. That's the whole point of doing that. So yeah, so there are it depends on yes, I see Pranu, you have your hand up, so I'll just come to you in a minute. So first and foremost, you have to also understand the approach that is applied by the practitioner that you are meeting. अभी मैं जैसे डायबिटीज का एग्जांपल लेता हूँ, टाइप 2 डायबिटीज का। Type 2 diabetes is a lifestyle disease and type 2 diabetes is reversible. So plenty of professionals, plenty of people have already proven it. So you can check. It's reversible. अब डिपेंड करता है आप किससे मिलने के लिए जा रहे हो, डॉक्टर कौन है आपका। Because if the doctor doesn't believe कि this is reversible, he will only put you on a management course. Because the doctor himself doesn't believe कि it is reversible. तो वो आपको ये बोलेगा ये तो इसका तो कुछ इलाज ही नहीं है, तो ऑल यू हैव टू डू इज मैनेज इट। तो वो आपको मैनेजमेंट टेक्निक सिखाएगा, है ना। तो अगर आप किसी प्रोफेशनल के पास जा रहे हो जो ये बिलीव ही नहीं करता है, जिसने कभी पीपल प्लीजिंग को रिवर्स किया ही नहीं है, तो वो तो आपको मैनेजमेंट टेक्निक्स ही सिखाएंगे। वो तो आपको यही बताएंगे कम्युनिकेशन टेक्निक्स, मैनेजमेंट टेक्निक्स, ऐसे बोलो, ऐसे सोचो, ये करो, वो करो, क्योंकि उनको पता है मेरे ये तो रिवर्सिबल नहीं है, ये तो क्योरेबल ही नहीं है। बट if you know कि हाँ this is curable, I've heard that this is curable, I've heard that type 2 diabetes is reversible, तो फिर आप ऐसे किसी प्रोफेशनल के पास जाओगे ही क्यों जो इस चीज में बिलीव ही नहीं करता है। हमें प्रोफेशनल की थिंकिंग को चेंज नहीं करना है, राइट। आपको फिल्टर आउट करना है। वो प्रोफेशनल है, वो डॉक्टर है जो बिलीव नहीं करता है कि ये रिवर्सिबल है, तो उसको छोड़ दो। क्योंकि देर आर प्लेंटी ऑफ पीपल हु बिलीव एंड हु हैव शोन रिजल्ट्स, हु हैव डन इट फॉर पीपल। उनको ढूंढ के उनके पास जाओ ना। जो बिलीव ही नहीं करता है उस चीज में, उसका माइंडसेट चेंज करने में अपनी एनर्जी क्यों लगा रहे हो?
But then don't you become too dependent on a professional for everything, that he will only take me out of the situation or he will only understand and everything?
What is wrong with that? So what is wrong? So don't you depend on a doctor to heal you?
Yeah.
तो मैं वही तो बोल रहा हूँ कि अभी भी ये जो क्वेश्चन आया है ये मैनेजमेंट के एंगल से आया है, तो आपने मेरी बात को सुना ही नहीं।
नहीं, मैं समझा, बट
अगर मैनेजमेंट के एंगल से जा रहे हो तो फिर तो लाइफ टाइम डिपेंडेंसी है। अगर क्योर के एंगल से जा रहे हो तो फिर डिपेंडेंसी किस बात की है? फिर तो क्योर हो गया ना। जब वो बोल रहा है कि वो 6 महीने में आपको टाइप 2 डायबिटीज से ठीक कर देगा, तो 6 महीने में आप ठीक हो गए, तो डिपेंडेंसी किस बात की? किस डिपेंडेंसी की बात कर रहे हो?
हाँ, राइट।
जो मैनेजमेंट में बिलीव करता है वो तो बोलेगा 60 साल तक ऐसे ही चलता रहेगा, तो 60 साल तक आप उसके ऊपर डिपेंडेंट हो।
हाँ। Now I got it. Yeah, there was a big difference in my therapist approach, and that's why I had a terrible experience with my therapist. I can actually relate to what you're saying.
हाँ, और अगर हमारी लाइफ में प्रॉब्लम है और हम डॉक्टर्स के पास जा रहे हैं, उसको हम डिपेंडेंसी बोलेंगे क्या? अभी मेरे को आज खांसी है तो मैं डॉक्टर के पास जा रहा हूँ, कल को मेरे को बुखार होगा तो मैं डॉक्टर के, पेट में दर्द होगा डॉक्टर के पास, तो मैं ये बोलूंगा अरे मैं डॉक्टर पे कितना डिपेंडेंट हो गया हूँ। ये तो कोई थॉट नहीं हुई ना। वो तो हमें जब जिसकी जरूरत पड़ेगी तो हम जाएंगे। पर हाँ, पर जो बीमारी क्योरेबल थी उसको
हाँ।
उसको क्योर नहीं किया, मेरे को लाइफ टाइम सब्सक्रिप्शन दे दी, वो डिपेंडेंसी है ना।
हम्म।
वो तो डॉक्टर, या तो उस डॉक्टर को पता ही नहीं था कि ऐसा हो सकता है, या फिर उसको पता है बट यू नो सम डॉक्टर्स ट्रीट देयर पेशेंट्स एज लाइक रिपीट लॉयल कस्टमर्स, तो उनको आपको खोना नहीं है, तो यू आर लाइक देयर सोर्स ऑफ इनकम। तो मेनी डॉक्टर्स बिलीव दैट ऑल्सो, वो ऐसी भी प्रैक्टिस करते, उनको छोड़ना ही नहीं है आपको।
या
तो ये तो आप ही को इवेल्युएट करना पड़ेगा ना, कि अगर इफ यू नो कि हाँ दीज थिंग्स आर क्योरेबल, दीज थिंग्स आर रिवर्सिबल, so check with the doctor. If the doctor believes and if the doctor says yeah I know this is and I can help you, हाँ तो उसमें 3 महीने लगेंगे, 6 महीने लगेंगे, 1 साल लगेगा, that depends on the extent of the problem. लेकिन अगर वो बोल रहा है कि हाँ ये रिवर्सिबल है, ये लाइफ टाइम के लिए आपको मेडिकेशन पे नहीं जाना है, ये छूट जाएगा, तो देन वो कोई डिपेंडेंसी थोड़ी है।
Got it. Thank you.
Pranu, you have your hand up. Yes, go ahead.
This is Pranit, by the way.
Hi.
Hi. The common pitfalls I go through sometimes is like when I'm picking up some practice to heal myself. If it is everything going well, it goes well. Maybe sometimes maybe it's energy fluctuation or somewhere I go off track, and then that's when I think I find it difficult to come back, and then that's when the self-doubt of whether I'm doing the right things or like whether I'm on the right path or like whatever I've been doing, is it working? So that kind of self-doubt is something difficult to overcome. That's one thing. And then second thing is, as you mentioned, the physical injury versus mental injury. Sometimes this I can't see, like how deep that emotion block is, right? So like in physical I can see the impact, and in the emotional sometimes I may see it as maybe like if I spend 1-2 days it may go away, and then sometimes it may take longer. So that kind of assessment I can't do myself. That's typically those things that take me off track, and then once I go off track, then I need to kind of, sometimes I just need to be patient, or like maybe sometimes a quick good meal may change my mood, or like maybe a good movie or some motivational speech somewhere, like that kind of that uncertainty I go through. So I don't know how long I need to wait so to come back to my normal state. So that I think I find challenging and common pitfall. So
Yes, this is also another thing which is worth noting down. Ki once again, let's say somebody is going through some problem in their life. Some people will turn towards alcohol. They will drink a lot of alcohol and drown themselves in it, and forget about it. Don't want to deal with the problem. Just drink and be happy. Some people will turn towards meditation. There is no difference. There is no difference between these two people, because both of them are doing it from a distraction point of view. They're both doing it to not deal with it. So understand this tendency, that for what reason you are doing it. Um, if you are feeling addicted, many people feel addicted to meditation. They I have spoken to people who come to a point where if they are unable to meditate, like they are in a habit of meditating every day, okay, किसी दिन उनका छूट गया अगर, they are miserable. They are like they are, वो ऐसे तड़पते कि आज मेडिटेशन नहीं किया, आज सुबह मैं उठ नहीं पाया, आज फॉर वट एवर रीजन आई कुडंट मेडिटेट एंड ऑल, तो वो तड़पते. इट्स द सेम थिंग लाइक यू जस्ट टेकन सिगरेट अवे फ्रॉम समवन, आज उसको सिगरेट पीने के लिए नहीं मिली, तो वो छटपटाते हैं बहुत. So that's an addiction in itself. So just watch out for that thing. कि just the way people get addicted to smoking, alcohol, food, all these things, in this way people also get addicted to such kind of things. Um, listening to if there is a particular person they listen to, आज उनका सुना नहीं हमने, तो आज मुझे ना अच्छा फील नहीं हो रहा, आज मैंने टाइम नहीं निकाला, आज सुना नहीं, ये एडिक्शन हो जाती है. तो ये बहुत ध्यान में रखने की चीज है कि अगर उस स्टेज में हम जा रहे हैं तो दैट इज एन इंडिकेशन दैट वी हैव बीन यूजिंग दीज थिंग्स एज अ डिस्ट्रैक्शन मैकेनिज्म, which is no different than someone just watching TV, watching Netflix or watching movie, or just, or maybe some people just talk to other people, right? वो अकेले नहीं बैठ पाते थोड़ी देर के लिए, जैसे अकेले बैठेंगे they will have too many thoughts coming, so they can't sit alone. So कभी किसी फ्रेंड को फोन लगाएंगे, कभी किसी को, कभी किसी के साथ, so उनको अकेले बैठना ही नहीं है. So this thing is to be watched out. That's that. Then what you talked about here, it is appearing कि जैसे होता है ना कि um, you are the lawyer, you are the judge, and you are the executioner also. So as Anamika was saying, going on a healing journey doesn't mean you have to create your own path. You have to follow a path. So find out who can guide you. So here we are trying to become the healer and the patient both, and on top of that we are also trying to be the auditor also. So सारा काम हम खुद ही कर रहे हैं, डॉक्टर भी बन रहे हैं, पेशेंट भी बन रहे हैं, और अपनी असेसमेंट भी, चेकअप भी खुद ही कर रहे हैं, सब कुछ खुद ही कर रहे हैं. There is no guidance from anyone, there is no monitoring, there is no one checking you are going in the right direction, you are doing the right thing, not. Today plenty of material is available on Google, YouTube, all that. You will type something, you will get plenty of results. Question comes, what are you typing? How do you know this is what you need to be typing? Whatever you look for, that information will come. But how do you know that this is the starting point? How do you know that you haven't missed 5 steps before this? How do you know that this particular thing that you are looking for is actually for you? Maybe what you're looking for is, the problem is not in that, problem is not in the medicine. So understand this thing. हम बहुत जल्दी ना इन चीजों को खराब बता देते, मेडिटेशन वर्क नहीं कर रहा है, ये वर्क नहीं कर रहा है, वो वर्क नहीं कर रहा है. Problem is not in that. There is a cabinet full of medicine in front of you and you are just trying to figure out कि मैं कौन सी खा लूं इसमें से. Nobody is guiding you. कहाँ से start? ये मेडिसिन आपकी करंट जो प्रॉब्लम है, what you are facing, how do you know this is the medicine for that? Many a times people going through some problem, they will speak to somebody, friends, family, किसी से बात करेंगे, वो फटाक से solution दे देंगे आपको निकाल के. They probably don't even spend 2 minutes to even understand कि problem है क्या. So they will probably just assume, हाँ ये तो मतलब I also went through this and that, and then they will just ये कर लो, और हाँ वो करने भी लगते हैं. Now same thing I will say, you going through a physical problem, physical this and that, ऐसे आप किसी को बोलोगे ना तो हम उसमें ये करेंगे कि अरे नहीं, ऐसे किसी भी नीम हकीम से हम इलाज नहीं करवाते, है ना. कोई भी ऐसा बोलेगा आके ये जड़ी बूटी खा लो, ये कर लो तो हम नहीं करेंगे, हम तो प्रॉपर प्रोफेशनल के पास जाएंगे. We do this. Yet when it comes to मेंटल इमोशनल में हम किसी से भी सलाह ले लेते हैं. एटलीस्ट नीम हकीम जो होते हैं उनको कुछ तो नॉलेज होती है, 10%, 5% कुछ तो नॉलेज होती है. इस केस में तो हम जीरो नॉलेज वालों की बातें भी सुन लेते हैं. इट इज लाइक कि I am a cancer patient and I'm talking to another cancer patient and trying to figure out my treatment by listening to the cancer patient. क्यों? क्योंकि वो भी कैंसर पेशेंट है, तो वो भी ही इज ऑल्सो गोइंग थ्रू. अरे कैंसर पेशेंट से मिलके आप अपना इलाज ट्रीटमेंट लोगे या डॉक्टर से मिलके लोगे? तो that's the problem. We are trying to become doctor, we are patient, and we are also our own assessor also कि हुआ या नहीं हुआ. कैसे पता चलेगा? Who even told you कि इस बात पे जाना है, ये यहाँ से starting point ये है, second ये है. No one is guiding, no one is monitoring, no one is telling कि are you on the right path. पाथ तो छोड़ो, आप पता नहीं कहाँ निकल चुके जंगल में, पाथ तो पता नहीं कहाँ रह गया, मतलब कुछ है ही नहीं. So what is the surprise कि we don't even know whether we are getting there, not getting there, I'm not able to assess myself. इसमें surprising है क्या? कुछ भी surprising नहीं. This is how it would be. ये तो natural ही है, ये तो expected है. Praneeth, does that give you any answer?
Yeah. I mean, not the answer, but yeah, I can relate to what you're saying, like being my own judge, figure out what works for me. I mean, yeah, I've been through just this journey. I think you hit those right notes, what I have been through. I think at this point, I realized, okay, I need some help. I need that support group. So yeah, that helps.
Yeah.
Some guidance, some monitoring is required. At the end of the day, medicine तो हमको ही खानी. No doctor is going to eat the medicine.
Right.
But doctor is sitting there to tell you which medicine to eat, when to eat, how to eat it, and how long to eat it. So then they assess you and tell you, हाँ, बाकी medicine तो हमें. इसमें क्या होता है ना, the trap that people falls in, उनको ये लगता है जब मुझे ही करना है सब कुछ तो फिर मेरे को किसी से बात करने की क्या जरूरत है. ये टोटल बुलशिट लॉजिक है. इलाज तो पेशेंट को ही करना है, ट्रीटमेंट तो पेशेंट को ही लेनी है. दैट डजंट devalue the role of a doctor. Yes, Ananta.
And this conversation just reminded me of, there was this story, I guess Akarma only was telling it when he was sitting with his guru. And there was this guy who was saying that, I meditate for 8 hours, every day, and I've been meditating from these many years. And his guru had asked him this question that, what about the rest of the 16 hours? So we take all of these concepts sometimes, like, first, like Akarma said, in a very much of a spiritual bypassing way, where we are not actually ready or capable to look at the actual situation, but we want somehow there should be something magical and mystical, and some kind of this experience is going to be there. There has to be an easy way out. There has to be a quick fix to this thing, so that I don't have to tend to my emotional wounds. I don't have to see why they are there, where do they come from. I don't have to actually feel any of the pain. I don't have to actually go through any of these things, understand myself, become self-aware. But we just jump into, these quick fixes where we, for the 8 hours that guy is meditating, he's all good and fine, and maybe he's traveling all across. But for the rest of the 16 hours, the moment his meditation ends and somebody comes and says something to him, if things remain the same and you're getting triggered in the same way, things are going down in the same way. So that there we need to really question ourselves, that we really need to be honest with ourselves in this thing, that am I doing this to just avoid facing my actual issues, or am I doing this actually because I'm willing and ready, and I intend to solve the real issues, right? And solving the real issues require a lot of courage, a lot more than anything else in the world. Looking at your own self and the dirt and the pain and the hurt and the shadows and the darkness, all of that we cover in we have inside us, looking at that is the most courageous thing a human being can do. And there is no real compassion, no real love, no real forgiveness, no real letting go, none of these things can actually happen until and unless we see those parts of us. It's not so, when we get into these kind of things, when we get into spiritual bypassing, we are like, oh God, I'm all love and light, and I'm all so happy, and I'm so joyful and so blissful. And because it shows us very clearly how much we still have reservations toward, the dark side, to the darkness that we have. So we continue to do nothing but reject ourselves, reject all of those parts of us. This is another major pitfall that people go through. They first of all tend to avoid the actual issues because it's hard to look at them. They look for quick fixes, they look for easy way out, temporary feel good things, and we continue to be there. We continue to feel temporarily good. And we have spoken to tons of people who come and say, I have been meditating from 5 years, 10 years, some say 15 years, and everything feels good, I'm calm, I'm composed, I'm this and I'm that, and I'm all of those things. But then, I don't know, I'm on a healing journey, so still things trigger me, still these things happen, of course these things happen, right? But these things will continue to happen in your life, in the outside environment. Even the most of the enlightened people also go through troubles and problems. But if it is still impacting you inside, and it's still making you like you are shaken, and you are like totally off ground, and you have like fallen, and you don't know how to handle it, then what's the whole point of feeling good, right? I'm not saying feeling good is bad. Feeling good needs to be the outcome. Feeling good temporarily is nothing, it's temporary. When you actually look at yourself for who you are and integrate all of these things, you realize the actual feeling good. That actual feeling good, that actual grounded, stable space is not something which is shaken by outside objects. It is something which is there in you. It's just there. It's that awareness, that presence does not go somewhere. Doesn't matter if you're sitting on meditation or if you're not sitting on meditation. You can be in a meditative state all along. It doesn't matter. You don't have to close your eyes. Don't have to sit there. Of course, to reach there, we will have to integrate meditation as well in this practice. But हम सिर्फ उसी को करने लग जाते हैं. हम सिर्फ वही करने लग जाते हैं, and that just simply gives us, a temporary quick fix कि हाँ अभी अच्छा लगा, अभी बहुत अच्छा लगा, अभी हो गया, अभी नहीं होगा, ठीक है, अभी बस. Another thing which happens, like first of all, we have to have the courage to actually see these things if we like really want to feel good. तो ये courage आने के बाद भी, let's suppose you're on the path, some people have this attitude of perfection, and some kind of like they take this also as a goal. They like start taking healing as a goal. Healing is not and cannot be anybody's goal. It's not about that, right? Healing is like your awareness can grow infinitely. It's not that thing, right? So now people start taking this as a perfection. So let's suppose somebody bumps into the right kind of person, and that person gives you the right guidance and tells you how to come out of these things. Because this is hard and this requires courage, people give up too fast, right? They are like, they concluded too fast at times that no, it doesn't work. No, it doesn't work. It's just resistance coming on their way and telling them, no, it doesn't work. This practice is totally making me feel like crap. I was supposed to feel good, and I'm feeling like really bad. I don't know why I have to do all of these things. And they just give up too early without even trying something properly. So whatever you try on your journey, whatever, try it properly. Give your best. And then if it does not work out for you, you have not reached anywhere, then see that, okay, now let me try and add on something new to my journey, and let me try something else. So one thing people do is giving up too early, right? Becoming so impatient कि अभी तक हुआ कैसे नहीं, मैं heal कैसे नहीं हुई, 3 महीने हो गए, 4 महीने हो गए, अभी अब तो मुझे कभी anger ही नहीं आना चाहिए, sadness. हाँ, this reminds me of another pitfall. that people somehow feel that they will become immune to all the emotions that they have. No, no matter how much you feel. In fact, I would say the opposite. The more you feel, the more you capable, the more you heal yourself, the more capable you become to feel things, to connect with people, to handle those emotions. It's not about shutting yourself down. So somehow people think कि अभी ये हो जाएगा ना तो मुझे कभी ये सारे uncomfortable emotions नहीं आएंगे. The thing, it's actually a little different. It's like कि शायद uncomfortable emotion for some time आ भी जाएं. They won't shake you as much they were shaking you before. So अगर आपको पहले किसी बात से एक दिन गुस्सा आता था, अगर आज आपको 12 घंटे गुस्सा आ रहा है, इट्स अ गुड इम्प्रूवमेंट. फिर 6 घंटे आ रहा है, वेरी गुड इम्प्रूवमेंट. फिर 2 घंटे आ रहा है, वेरी गुड इम्प्रूवमेंट. ऐसे करते 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 देयर विल कम अ पॉइंट वेयर इट बिकम्स लेस एंड लेस एंड लेस एंड लेस, एंड देन यू रीच, अच्छा अभी इस पर्टिकुलर एरिया में आई फील. सो इसको भी आई हैव सीन this thing also, people start taking it like they have to perfect something, they have to it's maybe this is also like a race where they have to run and they have to achieve it, and if they have not achieved it, they are going to punish themselves and tell themselves that see, you are
No,
a failure at this.
they basically see it like a black and white state. कि या they want to see it कि पहले भी हो रहा था, अभी भी हो रहा है. तो that is the biggest pitfall that what 𝗕𝗃 is talking about. क्योंकि ग्रेजुअल चेंज जो हो रहा है उसको हम नोटिस नहीं कर रहे हैं. हम बस ये नोटिस कर रहे हैं कि पहले भी हो रहा था, अभी भी हो रहा है. मैं तो इतने दिन से ये कर रहा हूँ, इतने दिन से कर रही हूँ, लेकिन अभी भी मुझको ये आता है. बट फोकस इज नॉट ऑन दिस कि पहले वो जो गुस्सा आ रहा था वो एक एक हफ्ता रहता था, अब वो गुस्सा सिर्फ एक दिन रहता है. हाँ है, लेकिन सी द प्रोग्रेस कि 1 वीक से अभी एक एक दिन पे आ गई है बात, और अभी एक दिन से कुछ घंटों, फिर कुछ मिनट और फिर कुछ सेकंड्स की बात रहेगी. तो पीपल टेंड टू सी दीज थिंग्स इन वेरी ब्लैक एंड व्हाइट वे कि या तो वो जैसे कोई स्विच है कि या तो ऑन होगा या ऑफ होगा. तो अभी भी ऑन है तो मतलब आई हैव नॉट अचीव्ड एनीथिंग. अभी भी प्रोग्रेस के ऊपर ध्यान नहीं है, सिर्फ आउटकम जो एक दिमाग में बिठा लिए कि ऐसा होना चाहिए, वहां अभी तक रीच नहीं हुए तो डिमोटिवेशन आ रहा है. फीलिंग कि वैसे कि कुछ हो ही नहीं रहा है, तो इट्स बीन सो लॉन्ग आई एम डूइंग दिस एंड कुछ नहीं, कुछ प्रोग्रेस नहीं हो रही है, कुछ ये नहीं हो रहा है, अभी भी मेरे को ट्रिगर होता है, अभी भी मेरे को फ्रस्ट्रेशन होता है. तो यूजिंग दैट काइंड ऑफ लैंग्वेज कि अभी भी होता है, जब तक हम इंसान हैं तो चीजें तो हमको बॉदर करेंगी. वी आर नॉट बिकमिंग रोबोट्स, वी आर नॉट बिकमिंग इमोशनलेस. सो पॉइंट इज नॉट दैट. there is a difference between a trigger and such kind of emotional state. अगर आपको कोई मच्छर काटेगा तो आपको खुजली होगी, अगर आप आग में हाथ डालोगे तो आपका हाथ जलेगा. तो हीलिंग का मतलब ये नहीं कि आप में इससे इमोशंस चले गए. अगर आपको कोई इंसल्ट कर रहा है, कोई किसी ने आपको गाली दी है, किसी ने आपको थप्पड़ मारा है, तो आपको हर्ट फील होगा. सो दैट इज नेचुरल. द प्रॉब्लम और द थिंग टू focus on is कि when such incidents take you back in the memory lane, someone says something, and instead of focusing on just this particular point, let's say कि दो लोगों में कोई argument हो रहा है. Now the argument is about a certain topic, about a certain thing that they are discussing, but वो नहीं, अभी ये दो लोग पुराने गड़े मुर्दे निकालेंगे. ये ऐसा, वो ऐसा, ऐसा, यू टॉक लाइक दिस, यू से दिस, पहले भी ऐसे, जो 5 साल पहले ये किया था, 10 साल पहले ये किया था. दैट्स अ वुड, दैट्स अ प्रॉब्लम. दैट इज शोइंग एन अनहील्ड स्टेट ऑफ दैट पर्सन. चाहे वो कितना मेडिटेशन में बैठ ले, चाहे वो कितना कुछ कर ले, लेकिन एक थोड़ी सी चिंगारी लगती है और वो इतनी आग भड़क जाती है, तो दैट इज ओनली शोइंग सप्रेशन. So suppression doesn't cure anyone. It's neither a management technique nor a cure technique. It's basically nothing. It's fake. It's just putting a lid on something and pretending कि it's sorted. So if that is happening, then that is something which you need to focus on कि अभी भी ऐसा है. But if someone is discussing something and you are feeling irritated by that, uncomfortable, गुस्सा आ रहा है, कुछ हो रहा है, but उसी तक बात रह रही है, तो वो तो हम इंसान हैं, वो तो हमें फीलिंग होगी ना. हम कोई रोबोट्स थोड़ी बन रहे हैं. तो if you are not adding to it, if you are not bringing anything from the past, if you are not adding, subtracting anything, making unnecessary meanings out of this thing, if we are only discussing the topic at hand and that topic is generating certain emotions, that's totally fine. That's just being part of human. So that's the focus. ऐसा अगर मान के चले कि कोई भी चीज आपको अफेक्ट ही नहीं करेगी, that's the Buddha state. Perhaps you will reach there. But वहां पहुंचने के लिए पहले यहां तो पहुंचो. अभी तक हर चीज आपको अफेक्ट कर रही थी, अभी तक पहले यहां तो पहुंचो. सीधा सीधा बुद्धा स्टेट पे ही पहुंचना है, तो that's a very far-fetched goal. So reach a point जहां पे if you are getting disturbed by something, if you are getting irritated, angry, this, that, it is specific to the problem at hand. You're not adding or subtracting anything to it. You're not bringing anything from the past. Everything from past has been resolved. It's been closed. It's not coming up anymore. That's a healed state. So that's the thing to make sure that you understand this. Healing not only happens in stages, but happens in iterations also. Another pitfall that I want to add as I'm talking about this is is this, that self-work, whether anyone, you are doing a DIY, you are working with us or you are working with anybody else, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter who you are working with or yourself. The nature of self-work is always iterative. That you must understand very, very clearly. It is not like a course. हमको 15-20 साल स्कूल कॉलेज में ऐसे आदत पड़ गई है कि ये तो मैंने कर लिया, ये तो हो गया. Self work is not maths, self work is not geography, self work is not history. It's not like कि आपको अगर मैंने ज्योग्राफी का एक क्वेश्चन आज पूछा, आपने उसको मेरे को आंसर दिया, आपसे मैं 5 साल बाद पूछूंगा तो भी उसका वही आंसर रहने वाला है, उसका आंसर चेंज नहीं होगा. If I ask you how many continents in the world, same answer. Whether I ask you today or I ask you later. I ask you when was World War II started, when it started, it's the same answer. You give today or you give after 10 years or 20 years, it's same answer. Maths 2 plus 2 equal to 4. वो 10 साल पहले भी 2 plus 2 equal to 4 था, आज से 100 साल के बाद भी 2 plus 2 equal to 4 ही रहेगा. तो because our mind is trained in this way कि ये तो मैंने कर लिया, तो we don't revisit it, क्योंकि there is no point. एक बार मैंने सीख लिया 2 plus 2 4, तो मैं वापस से क्यों सीखूंगा, वो तो 2 plus 2 4 ही रहने वाला. तो our mind has been trained over 15-20 years in this education system कि now we see self work also the same way. वो जैसे कोर्स है, ये तो वर्कशॉप, यहाँ ये तो मैंने पढ़ लिया, ये तो वर्कशॉप कर ली, ये वीडियो तो देख लिया, हाँ ये बुक तो पढ़ ली. But self work is not like that. Self work is iterative in nature, because every time you do the same thing again, your answer changes. It has to change. It must change, because that changing answer is reflecting that you are evolving. Very simple example. If I ask you someone, who are you? People will tell me their title, their job title, this, that, whatever they are working as, and all that. They'll tell me that here. Let's say they go on their spiritual journey. नया नया अभी ज्वाइन किया होगा, कुछ थोड़ी ज़्यादा नॉलेज आई, फिर I'll ask them, who are you? They'll give me a very different answer. 1 year down the track, whatever association they are with, whatever organization they are associated with, whatever they are learning, after 1 year I'll ask them, who are you? They will give me another answer. 5 years down the track, I'll ask them, who are you? They will give me another answer. Answer doesn't matter. The point is that the question is remaining the same, but the answer is changing. This means your understanding is changing. This means you are evolving. This is the nature of self-worth. This is the reason why people go to Vipassana, they will do 15 times same, 20 times they will do that. क्यों करते हैं भाई? 20 बार विपासना करने से क्या होगा? सेम 10 days का कोर्स है, सेम कुछ है, सेम कंटेंट दिखाते हैं, सेम प्रैक्टिस है. Why doing it 20 times? Because every time they do it, they get something more out of it. So this is the nature of self-worth. It's iterative in nature. This we fail to understand. हम ये सोचते हैं, अच्छा ये तो कर लिया, ये तो देख लिया, ये तो पढ़ लिया, ये तो जान गए, तो हम आगे बढ़ जाते हैं. हम academically देखते हैं इस चीज को, and that's the pitfall as well in this journey. We don't revisit, come back. ये कर लिया ना, अच्छा ठीक है. People tell us, I have worked on my wounds. Let's say हम कोई वर्कशॉप उनको सजेस्ट करते कि ये वर्कशॉप मैं तो ये कर चुका हूँ, ये तो हो गया, तो मुझे जरूरत नहीं. So say that's fine. Talking about assessment, so I'm saying कि when you did this workshop, when you did something like this at that time, those kind of questions would have triggered you, would have made you uncomfortable. Do this again. If the questions are not triggering you anymore, if the questions are not making you uncomfortable anymore, then you've crossed the bridge. If the questions are still making you uncomfortable, if more is coming out, then कि अभी भी बचा है, तो वो कर लिया है. उस it's not any kind of assessment. There is no checkbox here कि वो तो कर लिया है. So it's not an academic course. It's something that needs to be done iteratively. You keep revisiting to see, now I am not getting triggered by these questions anymore. Now I am not getting triggered by this. This is done and dusted. Abhi I can. So that assessment you can do yourself only. कि हाँ नहीं, but ये आएगा नहीं. ये कब आएगा? Like someone was saying, I think Praneet was saying, how to assess. This thought people don't get by themselves. This thought you will get when you are working with a guide who will tell you, do this again, try this again. And then you will see that this thing is not triggering me anymore. I have passed this now. So now I can very surely say that these things are closed. These wounds, I have got closure, and they are no more just like any other memory anymore. So ऐसा नहीं कि आपको कोई brain wash हो गया. You still remember everything, but every time now you talk about it, you don't feel any kind of emotional charge with it. The charge is gone, the closure is there. So आप एक ऐसी एक बात की तरह वो बात कर लेते हो, वो आपको बिल्कुल डिस्टर्ब नहीं करता है, अपसेट नहीं करता है, कुछ नहीं करता. Just a part of your life that you can very easily talk about. You have no problem talking about it. Anybody talking about it, you have no problem with that. It doesn't trigger anything. And that is the indication. The work is complete. Rupali, your hand is up. You want to say something?
Yeah, I have a question. So, like some of the points were addressed in this question itself. So, but the question is like, I can see the patterns, and even if a new person is coming, or if there is an old friend or something, I can see the patterns, and then after that, what is happening is because I'm identifying the red flags or everything, all those things where I feel that past में ऐसा हुआ था तो मेरे को अच्छे से treat नहीं किया गया था and all that, so I could understand all those things, and now I'm taking a stand, like I am raising my point and sharing my concern that this is how you are being treating me and this is not good, and I do not expect this and all those things. So I'm trying to do all that, but I can see सामने वाला जो person है उसको वो चीज समझ नहीं आती है because वो शायद इतने टाइम से वैसे ही चल रहा है, so they do not understand and then they start fighting कि ऐसे कैसे लाइक तुम्हारे अंदर इतना भी मतलब पेशेंस या टॉलरेंस नहीं है, all those things, but I can see it is coming from a pattern, and that person has to change. So in that case, either I'm just simply taking these people out of my life, और मोस्टली मैं एक्सप्लेन करती हूँ चीजें एंड देन मोस्टली यही हो रहा है कि आई एम टेकिंग देम आउट ऑफ माय लाइफ completely. So is it triggering me, or is it a good way, or how do I see about this?
Yeah, it is triggering you. There is no other way to look at it. It is definitely triggering you. Um, the thing is, what you're talking about, people who are saying what they are saying, that's one thing. But awareness of these wounds again is not the solution. So that's another pitfall that you have just brought up. Is we've come across people who show awareness about their problem. So they already know, and they'll say, "Yes, I know about this." Somewhere they have concluded that awareness will help them. But with awareness now, because they know about it, it's fixed. That's not the case. Awareness doesn't fix anything. Awareness is just only telling you कि यहाँ कुछ करना है. ये तो ऐसा हो गया कि जैसे मुझे मुझे कुछ डायबिटीज के सिम्टम्स थे. मुझे नहीं तब तक पता था कि ये डायबिटीज के सिम्टम्स हैं. मुझे कुछ सिम्टम्स दिख रहे थे एंड आई वाज लाइक आई कुड ऑब्जर्व कि ये नॉर्मल नहीं है. ठीक है, ऐसा नहीं होता है नॉर्मली, मेरे साथ ऐसा नहीं होता है. तो आई वेंट एंड आई गॉट माई सेल्फ चेक विद द डॉक्टर एंड द डॉक्टर सेड कि ये तो डायबिटीज है. और अब मैं बोलूँ अच्छा अब तो मेरे को पता चल गया डायबिटीज है, और मैं घर जाके बैठ जाऊँ कि अब तो पता चल गया ना, अब तो डायबिटीज है, तो वो डायबिटीज ठीक थोड़ी होने वाली है उससे. तो वी हैव टू स्टिल फिक्स इट. अवेयरनेस इज नॉट गोइंग टू फिक्स द प्रॉब्लम. अवेयरनेस इज ओनली गोइंग टू हाईलाइट कि ये अभी करना बाकी है. तो setting boundaries, people talk about, okay, I know now, I know I have to set boundaries. Setting boundaries is not like putting a memo out to someone and telling them कि ये है. बाउंड्री सेटिंग तो कोई भी कर सकता है. बाउंड्री सेटिंग में तो कोई इशू है ही नहीं. सबसे बड़ा इशू, बिगेस्ट प्रॉब्लम इज इन डिफेंडिंग द बाउंड्रीज. बाउंड्री सेटिंग से अगर बात बन जाती तो हमको इंडिया पाकिस्तान के बॉर्डर पे आर्मीज खड़े करने की जरूरत नहीं होती. फिर तो मैप पे बना दिया ना, लाइन बना दी, हो गया. अभी तो कर दिया, अभी सबको पता है, पूरी दुनिया को पता है कि ये बाउंड्री है. तो व्हाई यू नीड आर्मीज देन? व्हाई यू नीड आर्मीज इन एनी कंट्री? सो बाउंड्रीज तो सब जगह, पूरे मैप में हम तो बचपन से पढ़ते आ रहे, सब जगह तो बाउंड्रीज खींची हुई हैं. व्हाई यू नीड आर्मीज? इफ दिस एग्जांपल इज नॉट hinting you कि it is not about setting boundaries, it is about defending. Majority of people are not capable of defending because they have their own problems which they haven't dealt with. तो वो जो defense आता है ना, the way you will try to defend, it will come from aggression, it will come from a fear state, it will still come from a lot of aggression, fear and all that, insecurity. So वो हम borders पे सोल्जर्स को भेजते हैं तो हम ऐसा वीक सोल्जर्स को नहीं भेज देते. वो सोल्जर्स अपने ऊपर उन्होंने काम किया है, दे आर स्ट्रॉन्ग, दे आर मेंटली फिजिकली स्ट्रॉन्ग, दे आर वर्किंग ऑन देमसेल्व्स, तब उनको वहां पे भेजा जाता है. उनकी दे फिल्टरिंग प्रोसेस इज देयर कि कौन जाएगा आर्मी में, कैसे जाएगा. दे हैव अ रेजीम, फिजिकल, मेंटल, इमोशनल, ऑल टाइप ऑफ स्ट्रेंथ्स दैट दे गो थ्रू. ऐसे सियाचिन ग्लेशियर में -40 डिग्रीज में किसी को नहीं वहां पे बैठा सकते कि तुम कर लो. तो lot of internal strength, lot of strength that is required, that you need to build in order to defend. तो ये फिजिकल एग्जांपल मैं इसलिए ले रहा हूँ आज क्योंकि फिजिकल एग्जांपल्स हम कनेक्ट कर सकते हैं. ये मेंटल इमोशनल वाली चीजें होती हैं ना, थोड़ी इंटेंजिबल होती हैं, तो इतना हम कनेक्ट नहीं कर पाते इन चीजों से, इसलिए आई एम टेकिंग दिस फिजिकल एग्जांपल्स. यू गाइस will understand कि how what I'm trying to explain here. So become capable of defending the boundaries. जब हम assertively अपना point रखते हैं और हमें ये मालूम है हम अगर बाउंड्री सेट करेंगे, हम डिफेंड करेंगे, तो हमने अगर इंडिया पाकिस्तान के बॉर्डर पे लाइन खींच दिया और वहां पे हमने आर्मीज को खड़ा कर दिया, तो क्या हमने ये एक्सपेक्ट नहीं किया कि पाकिस्तान हम पे अटैक करेगा? तो जब हमें पता है कि पाकिस्तान अटैक करेगा, तो हमें तो ये मालूम है ना, तो हम तो मेंटली प्रिपेयर्ड है ना, तो हम अब इस बात पे कंप्लेन क्यों करेंगे? हम इस बात पे दुखी क्यों होंगे? हम इस बात पे नाराज क्यों होंगे कि उन्होंने ऐसा बोल दिया, उन्होंने ऐसा कर दिया? तो हमें पता है लोग तो करेंगे, वो तो उनका काम है, इट इज देयर बर्थ राइट टू इन्वेड अवर बाउंड्रीज, तो करेंगे. सो नाउ वी हैव टू बिकम केपेबल टू डिफेंड इट ना. तो वो हम अपनी अगर बाउंड्री सेट करें, हमें किसी को कुछ बोलना है, उन लोगों का आज तक काम बन रहा था, हमारी बाउंड्रीज नहीं थी, उनका तो पूरा काम बन रहा था. अचानक से आपने एक बाउंड्रीज लक्ष्मण रेखा खींच दी कि ये नहीं चलेगा, उसका तो काम रुक गया. वो कैसे रिटेलिएट नहीं करेगा? हाउ कैन यू एक्सपेक्ट द अदर पर्सन विल नॉट से एनीथिंग? लाइक टू एक्सपेक्ट कि they should be totally okay with it is actually completely an impractical expectation. A more practical expectation would be कि they will retaliate and I am ready. Because हम ready नहीं होते हैं ना, इसीलिए हमको उनके retaliation चुभता है. बाउंड्री तो हमने सेट कर दी, हमें लगता है तो कोई कम्युनिकेशन इशू है, जैसे बता तो दिया, बताने से थोड़ी बाउंड्री सेट हो जाती है. कम्युनिकेशन तो इंटरनेशनली हुआ है हर कंट्री का. तो कम्युनिकेशन से अगर बाउंड्री सेटिंग हो जाती तो फिर तो बात ही क्या थी. तो इट्स नॉट अ कम्युनिकेशन इशू. Anyone trying to set boundaries must understand the other person will retaliate. They will not like it. They will say, they will try to push you, they will probably insult you even more. वो तो आपको और ज्यादा बड़ा बुरा बोलेंगे, कुछ तो करेंगे आपकी बाउंड्री तोड़ने के लिए, आपको तोड़ने के लिए कुछ तो बोलेंगे ही. एंड इफ यू आर एक्सपेक्टिंग कि वो नहीं बोलेंगे, तो ये कंप्लीटली रॉन्ग एक्सपेक्टेशन, इम्प्रैक्टिकल एक्सपेक्टेशन है. उल्टी एक्सपेक्टेशन होनी चाहिए कि वो तो बोलेंगे, वो तो करेंगे. मेरे को अपने आप को स्ट्रांग बनाना है, मुझे पता है कि वहां से अटैक आएगा, आई एम रेडी. अब ये बाउंड्री है, ये खींचती है लाइन, तब खींच दिया, अब आई एम गोइंग टू डिफेंड इट. और मुझे ये भी पता है कि वहां से अटैक भी आएगा. तो अगर ये नहीं होकर आए, ये नहीं कर पा रहे हैं, तो दैट मीन्स कि वी आर ओनली अवेयर ऑफ आवर इश्यूज, वी स्टिल हैवंट फिक्स्ड देम. Does that answer your question, Rupali?
Yes. So, just one follow-up question. How do we become strong then, and how do we protect the boundaries exactly?
So that is the process that you are currently on already, and tomorrow you are joining the healing mind blocks, correct?
Yes.
So you are on that process already. You just participate in that process. You've completed unstuck, you have completed guided subconscious. Now tomorrow is the healing mind block, so I hope that you can join that as well. So you missed it last time, don't miss it, otherwise ये questions जाने वाले नहीं हैं.
Okay, yeah, I will definitely join. Thank you.
No problem. Okay. Anyone else? Yes, Pranit.
Yeah, I mean, if no one has any questions, I just want to add a couple of points. Like I need some clarity on that. Like, yeah, one.
Sure.
Thank you both, Karma and Anamika. I mean, like through this discussion, I learned few patterns, like trying to be perfect on, you know, and one more point is. Yeah, trying to be perfect and then get into this some kind of addictive behavior, so that I kind of relating to those patterns. But one thing in this journey, healing journey, sometimes like when I go through certain stage, okay, I realize some of my past mistakes, um, then then it also comes with some guilt that, oh, okay, I should have done that better, handled that better, and I may stuck in that guilt mode for a while. Then also, once I realize myself, and then I also see, okay, there's a lot of work I need to do, so that also creates some kind of anxiety. So I'm kind of, sometimes I kind of stuck in this guilt and anxiety mode. I don't know if you already answered this question, but yeah, I just want to ask that. So. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes.
Am I audible?
Can you? Yes. Yes. Can you just repeat the last one or two lines that you said? I missed it.
Yeah. Yeah, so basically what I was saying is, like, when I'm going through journey, realize some of the mistakes I have done or some of the patterns I discover, and then also it put me in some guilt trip, and, oh, okay, I should have handled that better. And at the same time, when I realize, okay, still I have to do a lot of work ahead of me so that I can reach that some stage, and then that kind of put me in this guilt mode, as well as like thinking about all the future work I need to do, that put some anxiety. And then whatever I learned, or like whatever I observed, is like letting go of past, and then like, be hopeful of present. I can uh, hear that, but I still I can't like really process it, imbibe it. Like I may go into this guilt and anxiety mode sometimes in my healing journey. So that's what I just want to connect with you, and then maybe learn a few things.
Hmm. Right. Right. So going into this kind of a mode again comes back to, kind of the relationship that we have with ourselves. So the pattern of perfection, again, you need to dig a little deeper into that. Where did that pattern came from? It's not that, we don't make mistakes. There are times when we do mistakes. There are times when we intentionally do mistakes. There are times when we unintentionally do mistakes, right? So, but the thing is that being in the mode of guilt and shame. So there is one conversation that we had exactly on this topic, how to get over guilt and shame. But this is a classic pattern which we all have, because when we were taught as a child that in case you don't do things properly, or don't do things according to, somebody's standards, could be anybody in your environment, then the way for you to get those things done is by making you feel guilty about it, because guilt and shame are a punishment mechanisms that we have for ourselves, so that we want to make sure that, oh, now again I don't do this, repeat the same pattern, right? So now we need to resolve this thing, because see, when it comes to negative reinforcement, I wouldn't say negative reinforcement does not work, but it cannot take us very far on our journey, because हमें भी अंदर ही अंदर पता होता है कि हमें अच्छा नहीं फील हो रहा है. इट्स जस्ट कि हम ना मजबूरी में अपने आप को खींच खींच के उस जर्नी में लेके जा रहे हैं. While this is a journey where we are on a journey so that we can become more accepting to ourselves, more loving to ourselves, more compassionate to ourselves, and not, beat ourselves around all the time. So that motivation, that negative reinforcement and negative motivation needs to also, travel towards positive motivation, optimism, and, the right open space. That doesn't mean that we will not, change ourselves, improve ourselves, or when we have to make a change, we wouldn't do that. But the space from which it is coming from, that space itself has changed. Now we are doing these things. If we make a mistake, we just, see what all we have learned from it, and we take it forward, and we have a strong resolve that, let me now do this in a different way. So it's the same thing, like whether it is coming from the space of love or it is coming for love. So we have to check what is our space where we are coming from. Again, for us to complete this whole journey, we again need to go and see that how did this pattern of, putting yourself into guilt came from. Because if it is on healing journey, there is a very high chance that you would be doing this in other areas of your life as well. Maybe business, maybe work, job, maybe in relationships, some of the other areas. So if this is a pattern, then this pattern needs to change in itself. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, last point, I didn't get it. Like pattern, it has to change itself in the sense I need to be more patient, more conscious.
No. This pattern that, when you get into the mode of perfection and when you don't do that, you start feeling guilty. So you need to dig deeper into this and see that how did you even become like this? Why did you start doing these things? Right? Where do these things come from? And bring awareness into that. What do you get by doing this? So mostly what I just gave you a general example of what people get by putting themselves in that shame or guilt mode, because they feel that it is a push for them. So at the temporary level, it works, but it actually does not work in a long run because nothing has changed inside you. It's just a mechanism that you have, learned from somewhere in your life so that you can push yourself, be it in your job, be it in your business, be it in your work, be it in your exercise routine, be it in your lifestyle, be it in X or Y or Z. Doesn't matter. So you will have to see that where else, how are you repeating this pattern, and then dig deeper into it, find the root cause and heal that itself, so that you can complete the journey where you start doing these things, not for love, not because it will take you somewhere or it will, you will reach some place or blah, blah, blah. You start doing these things from love because you want to get better, because you love yourself, not because when you get better you will be loved or then you will love yourself. जब मैं सब अचीव कर लूंगा तब मैं अपने आप से प्यार करूंगा. Not that is guilt and shame.
Sure.
प्यार अभी करना है, right? And from that space you need to start working. So ये transition लाने के लिए we have to change the pattern itself.
Sure.
Thank you, Pranat. Good. Anybody else wants to say anything? Then we'll wrap up. Cool. There are some of the videos on our YouTube channel, guys, which are linked to today's conversation. First one being spiritual bypassing. So I really recommend all of you to listen to that once again, because that is interlinked with this. There are different kind of ways in which we actually don't heal ourselves, but we feel that we are doing that. Another video that I can say is that there is a video called What is Healing Journey? You can watch that. And there are many other like these which can help you, these kind of discussions which can help you, walk on the path of healing. And if you have any further questions, anything that you want to talk about, you can always post your questions in the group. We'll see you in the next session then, guys. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you, Anamika. Thank you, Akad.
Thanks everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Anamika. Thank you, Akad.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Good night.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
everyone. Bye.
Thank
Good
you.
night.